billion of financing to many different sectors. The trade sector, agribusiness, healthcare, hospitals, very long list, but also very much the private sector. And for those who don't know how we work as TDB, we work very closely with the financial institutions in our member states. So here in Kenya, we count at least 5 banks here as partners who we co-finance and sometimes finance through them. The KCBs of this world, Equity Bank, and there's several others. The same applies to another 25 African member states who are the membership of TDB Group. The reason I'm pointing all of this out is partnership is the magic that makes us effective. In the different member states, we do that not just with banks, but we do it with pension funds. We've managed to take very seriously this idea of unleashing African capital, multiplying African capital, making African capital work much better than it ever has. We've heard our leadership, heads of state, number of countries. Indeed, here, His Excellency President Ruto has often talked about the global financial architecture, the challenges of financing, and we know that we're in an age where African countries, African enterprises need to rely more and more on African banks, African financial institutions. We are one of them. We take our mission very seriously. We're very proud that COMESA had the foresight, the vision, 40 years ago when we were established, not having any idea that we would mushroom into what we have today, where we are now an effective strategic partner of major global financial institutions who see us as credible intermediaries to bring large-scale many transformational projects over the years. And this is really the story of COMESA as much as it is TDB. And we thought we would take the occasion at this opening session of the Business Forum to tell the private sector here that we are open, ready, willing, and able to support you in your growth plans. Of course, we are a merit-based financial institution, so there's no guarantees. You have to be good for the credit. We are a rated institution, so of course we work on very professional terms. But just to let you know that there's a lot of capacity. We now have facilities that are dedicated to supporting projects even in the public-private partnership space. Some of you will know there's a very exciting initiative called Mission 300, where Chileshi, myself, and others are joining forces with the World Bank Group and the AFDB to electrify 300 million Africans in this part of Eastern and Southern Africa. A large gap is here in terms of financing, and we have close to $1 billion of credit facilities, long-term, quite affordable in the current context of interest rates in the world, but still affordable, and quite patient money that can go as far as 15 to 20 years. So we are very capable, we've got a lot of capacity, and just to let you know that your financial institution has matured to the point where we now have credit ratings across a number of important African jurisdictions, but also in money centers across the world. Historically, it was always London. Now we've built on our success stories in Europe to go to Asia. And this year, on our 40th anniversary, we got our first ever credit ratings in Japan and in China. In Japan, we got an A- rating. In China, we got a AAA rating. Here in Kenya, we have a AAA rating. In the Republic of Mauritius, which is the headquarters of the group, we also have a AAA rating. So all of this is to tell you that intermediation is based on ratings and quality, and you can be proud of your financial institution that has come a long way. But I would love for all of you to take one message back home, apart from the private sector that's here. The sovereigns who own this institution are the owners, and they have to treat it with the pride and the respect that it deserves. And so on that note, please do tell all of the stakeholders in your country that this is an institution worth protecting, because we provide a lot of support to the economies of COMESA. And on that note, I thank you all very much for your attention. I hope it was short and sweet enough. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments. Of course, trade is the movement of goods and people, and the financing sector cannot be ignored in the role they play to ensure that infrastructure is enhanced, countries are connected, people can move, goods can move. Yesterday, during the COMESA EU Horticulture Connect, there is someone who said it is cheaper and easier to move produce from the COMESA region, any country, pick any country, to the EU region, as opposed to moving it from, say, Kenya to Tanzania or DRC. So connectivity is very important. Thank you very much for your thoughts there. Now we move on to the next guest, and I would like to now invite the COMESA Secretary General, who is Chileshe Mpunda Kapwepwe. Karibu sana, and let's give her a round of applause. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Director of Ceremonies. Your Excellency, Professor Kithure Kindiki, Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, and our chief guest, Excellency Dr. Hassan Kibeya, Chairperson of COMESA Council of Ministers from Burundi, Honorable Lee Kinyanjui, Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Investment, Trade, and Industry of Kenya, Honorable Ministers present, Mr. James Chamwaza, President of CBC, the Dean of Ambassadors and members of the Diplomatic Corps, kindly allow me to ride on established protocols. Good morning. Before I start my speech, I always tell the President of TDB that every time he stands up to talk about the bank and its achievements, I always feel like a very proud parent at a graduation. It shows the foresight of the forefathers who established COMESA, that they did not only establish COMESA, but they went further to establish institutions which would play in the market and support the mandate of COMESA. So like TDB, we have CBC, which is a private sector arm, which is also bringing you together today. So COMESA is very diverse and indeed plays directly into the market. Your Excellency, Chief Guest, I would like to say karibu. Good morning, and it's a real honor and privilege for me to address you today at the 18th COMESA Business Forum. This important public-private dialogue brings together COMESA Business Council and the wider business community, policymakers, COMESA institutions, and partners to jointly deliberate and chart innovative pathways to sustainable growth and enhanced collaboration across the region. I extend my special thanks to you, Your Excellency, for gracing this occasion, and for the government of Kenya for hosting this important series of meetings that we are holding over the next few days. These Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the theme for this 18th COMESA Business Forum is leveraging digitalization to deepen regional value chains for sustainable and inclusive growth. Our discussions will explore how digitalization transforms business practices, boost productivity, connect markets, and create opportunities for all, particularly marginalized groups, including MSMEs, women, and youth. The forum aims to generate actionable recommendations for the COMESA Business Declaration 2025, which will be presented to our heads of state and government at the summit being held here in Nairobi on the 9th of October. We anticipate concrete proposals on digital infrastructure, investment, regulatory harmonization frameworks, innovative financing mechanism for SMEs, and strategic partners that will accelerate our digital transformation agenda. In addition, just listening to the representative from the Kenya Association of Manufacturers, a number of pertinent issues have already been raised, which I feel should be formed part of that declaration, to bring to the attention to the heads of state the number of challenges and bottlenecks being experienced by the private sector, and which should be addressed at that level. Because sometimes, as we all know, it's only political will that will remove some of these constraints. Our forum discussions will focus on 4 critical areas: agricultural productivity, digital trade and investment promotion, and business mobility. Distinguished delegates, COMESA has developed a robust suite of digital tools that are revolutionizing regional trade and integration. We have consistently supported integrated border management systems, smart border technologies, including the regional customs guarantee, the digital yellow card system, which ensures efficient issuance and verification across 13 countries, while our regional payment and settlement system, REPS, process is increasing transaction values across its member states. Most recently, COMESA launched the Electronic Certificate of Origin program, which was launched in Eswatini, Malawi, Zambia, and very recently, only a few days ago, launched right here in Kenya. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, building on our established digital foundation, COMESA continues strengthening private sector development through strategic partnership with the CBC and targeted initiatives that address critical regional needs. Our regional food balance sheet initiative, implemented in partnership with key stakeholders and supported by AGRA, now provides reliable, near real-time data across 10 countries, addressing critical information gaps for policy and investment decisions. We are advancing business mobility through our COMESA Business Visa Scheme, leveraging on ICT capabilities, while strengthening the pharmaceutical sector through the African Development Bank partnership focused on local manufacturing capacity. The Digital Finance Inclusion Project has reached a crucial development phase, with the COMESA Clearinghouse playing an extended role in establishing the digital retail payment platform for MSMEs. Ladies and gentlemen, running alongside our high-level dialogue, we are hosting 2 interconnected events that exemplify our commitment to practical business outcomes. The COMESA Multi-Sector Trade Exhibition from 7 to 9 October showcases flagship regional products and services and innovations across multiple sectors, serving as a dynamic marketplace for promoting business linkages and investment partnerships. Complementing this, the COMESA EU Horticulture Connect seminar, which was held on yesterday, brought together European buyers from Netherlands, Germany, France, and Italy with COMESA horticultural producers, creating direct pathways for our agriculture exporters to access international markets. This strategic pairing of the exhibition and buyer-supplier platform demonstrates how we are translating our policy actions into tangible economic opportunities that strengthen our integration with global value chains. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, I wish to commend the efforts of the COMESA institutions in supporting the hosting of this forum: CBC, the Trade Development Bank, the COMESA Court of Justice, the Alliance for Commodity Trade in Eastern and Southern Africa, ACTESA, COMESA Reinsurance Company, ZEPRI, Africa Trade and Investment Development Insurance Agency, ATIDI, COMESA Federation of Women in Business, Africa Leather and Leather Products Institute, Yellow Card, COMESA Clearinghouse, COMESA Monetary Institute, COMESA Competition Commission, and the COMESA Regional Investment Agency, RIA, which collaboration continues to amplify the length and depth of COMESA's collective impact. The COMESA Business Forum provides a crucial platform for aligning public and private sector strategies, sharing successful and digital agriculture models, and creating the enabling environment for our social adaptation of transformative technologies across the region. Public-private dialogue has always been at the center of our strategies and inclusive approaches. Last year, we successfully hosted the 17th COMESA Business Forum in Bujumbura, and outcomes were presented to the 23rd Summit of the Heads of State. We are looking forward to a similar presentation of this declaration, of this business forum, which shall be presented on Thursday to the summit. This will really reinforce the matter that we cannot move forward on policy alone. We do need the participation and engagement of the private sector. I wish you all a fruitful deliberations, and I thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Secretary General for COMESA, Her Excellency Chilese Mpundu Kapwepwe. Ladies and gentlemen, time now to welcome the Cabinet Secretary in the Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry from Kenya, Honorable Lee Kenyanjui, to address us. Let's put our hands together for the Minister.
Thank you. Thank you. Allow me to take this opportunity first to acknowledge Your Excellency, the Deputy President, Professor Kithure Kindiki, for honoring our invite and also participating in this very important session. We acknowledge that the business forum is a critical component of the COMESA, because as government, we may have the best policies, but at the end of the day, we need the business people and the associations to make the connections and to make the region work. So we really want to salute you for making time to open this session. The Secretary General of COMESA, Chileshe Kapwepwe, the Chairperson of the Council of Ministers, Dr. Hassan Kibe, representatives from the private sector, and the Chairperson of the Council of Business, Mr. James Chimwanza, upon whom I want, and thank you very much for being here. So, it is our profound honor first to hold this summit, and also to confirm that it comes at a time when both trade and investments are facing quite some turbulence. And I say this in recognition of the fact that when you look at global trade today, there are so many uncertainties, from wars across other parts of the world to tariffs that have made international trade more unpredictable and sometimes unstable. And one of the areas that have been cited as possible solutions for stabilizing that is actually regional trade. At COMESA, we're at about 14% intra-COMESA trade, a number which we acknowledge is way below our potential. And I think our conversations today must revolve around what we must do to make it possible for goods from Tanzania to come to Kenya, of Kenya to Zambia. And I think that conversation must not only be academic. We must go to the real issues that continue to hamper trade between ourselves. Not too long ago, His Excellency Yoweri Museveni, the President of Uganda, visited Kenya. And I think in their conversation with our President, the issue of the time it takes to cross the border from Kenya to Uganda was raised. The following week we visited there, and talking to the truck drivers and the business people, average it will take like 4 to 5 hours on a good day, but at times even a day before you can cross. So if you have to cross 4 borders and you have to spend 4 or 5 hours on each, then if you look at the total loss, then it makes our region very uncompetitive. So among the things we must talk is how to make it seamless for our goods to move from Zambia to Kenya, and the unnecessary stops that you have created must be abolished. On the movement of people, again, there can be no business when our people are not talking. There is no value of talking about trade when I cannot go to Zambia with ease, check the goods, agree with the banks and the people, and come back. So again, the movement of people across the entire region, I think, becomes very important. I am happy to note that Kenya has abolished visas for African countries. So if you want to visit Kenya, you do not need to make any elaborate plans for you to come here. You need a product from Mombasa, from Nakuru, and anywhere. You just need to board the next plane, and we will be able to receive you, and you can have, things going through. So I think as a person in charge of trade, I really want to emphasize on the issue of movement of people and goods, because when these two are not there, it doesn't matter what else we are going to input. And I think much must be done to open those areas. I also note that the theme of this year is leveraging on digitization to deepen regional value chains for sustainable and inclusive growth. Again here, we are happy as Kenya that we have made significant inroads in the area of digital penetration. Almost every major town in Kenya, we have been able to connect with fiber, which means a farmer can be able to produce a product, put it online, put a photo, put everything, and that way we can be able to trade. And because trade is now becoming more digital than physical, then the issue of ensuring that we have digital connection across the whole country, and by extension also in other parts of the COMESA, becomes important. And I also want to add that beyond the infrastructure, and I'm happy to note that most of our universities also, we have incorporated the issue all need to duplicate services. So if you have a solution that's already working in Uganda or any other country, maybe that solution can be adopted. And since M-Pesa is working even globally, I see M-Pesa as a solution for many of the things that you're trying to do. And I think some of these issues, if they're replicated at the continental level, we can all work towards making it a better place for all of us. Allow me also to quickly mention on the issue of the horticultural event we had yesterday. Kenya is a major player in the area of horticulture and flower, and we had very live conversations yesterday. Still, a lot needs to be done. We have talked about post-harvest losses. We have talked about cold storage. So if you're moving a perishable commodity across the border and you're spending 5 hours, there's no cold facility, then the post-harvest becomes a major issue. And I think one of the areas that we must really invest in is the infrastructure in cold storage, both in our airports, in our ports, in all our big towns, so that when you're thinking of any of these commodities that fall within the perishable category, you have networks that can allow us to work across that entire space. Lastly, is also to note that within the COMESA region, we have nearly 600 million people. If you look at that number and you compare with other continents or subcontinents, you will realize it's bigger than even the entire US market. But the problem is we probably have not seen the full potential that lies with that kind of a market. And as we improve trade, also allow me to say that areas like tourism, if you look at what percentage of tourists within the COMESA say visit Kenya, the number is in the single digits. Yet, we will all plan our journeys, maybe on holiday sometimes, to capitals far away from where we are, in places of temperatures sometimes -10, over 40, and leave a Mombasa beach that is an attraction to the whole world. Leave a Masai Mara that is a world heritage site. So, and I can say that of Victoria Falls in Zambia, and I think all those places that we can do. So I think it's time for Africa and COMESA to think local, to think regional, and together we can move. Thank you, and may God bless you.
Thank you very much. That is Honorable Lee Kinyanjui, the CS Cabinet Secretary for Kenya's Ministry of Investments, Trade and Industry. And I like where he has ended. It is time for Africa, it's time for COMESA. I would now like to invite His Excellency Dr. Hassan Kibeya, who is the chairperson for the COMESA Council of Ministers, Burundi. Welcome, and let's give him a round of applause, please.
Excellences, professeur Kithure Kindiki, vice-président de la République du Kenya et invité d'honneur, Excellence Lee Kinyanjui, secrétaire au cabinet au ministère de l'Investissement, du Commerce et de l'Industrie du Kenya, Excellence Madame Shileshe Kapwepwe, secrétaire général du COMESA, Monsieur James Chimwaza, président du Conseil des opérateurs économiques CBC, Excellences, Mesdames et Messieurs, distingués invités, tout protocole observé, bonjour. Permettez-moi tout d'abord de rendre grâce à Dieu Tout-Puissant qui nous a réunis dans cette belle matinée ensemble à ce 18e Forum d'affaires du COMESA, qu'il soit loué. Et en ma qualité de président du Conseil des ministres du COMESA et en tant que représentant de la République du Burundi, c'est une immense fierté et une ferme détermination que je m'adresse à cette auguste assemblée et en ce 18e forum d'affaires qui incarne notre engagement collectif à transformer notre région et en une communauté intégrée, numériquement et économiquement dynamique et prospère. Et c'est un moment crucial, marquant 3 décennies d'intégration économique au sein du COMESA. J'aimerais donc souhaiter ma plus chaleureuse des bienvenues à tous les participants, et en particulier aux distingués invités venus de toutes les régions et d'ailleurs. Et j'aimerais personnellement et au nom de la République du Burundi adresser mes sincères félicitations à la République du Kenya, qui assure actuellement la vice-présidence de notre Conseil des ministres et pour avoir gracieusement accueilli ce forum essentiel et pour être l'hôte de ce 24e sommet des chefs d'État et de gouvernement du COMESA. Je tiens tout particulièrement à saluer son Excellence le professeur Kithure Kindiki, vice-président de la République du Kenya, et l'honorable Lee Kinyanjui, secrétaire au cabinet. Merci beaucoup. Et je tiens également à reconnaître le leadership de la secrétaire générale du COMESA, Excellence Shileshe Kapwepwe, et aussi les secrétaires généraux adjoints. Mes remerciements s'adressent aussi au président du Conseil économique CBC pour avoir aussi organisé ce forum. Distingués invités, chers délégués, le COMESA se positionne aujourd'hui comme une grande communauté économique, avec une forte population de plus de 680 millions d'habitants et un produit intérieur brut qui dépasse les 1 000 milliards de dollars à la fin de chaque année. En dépit de ces chiffres impressionnants, la voie vers un marché commun, pleinement intégré et compétitif, demeure profondément semée d'embûches. La période de 2023-2024 a mis à l'épreuve le passage commercial et économique de notre région. Le commerce intra-COMESA a en effet une baisse de 3,6% entre 2023 et 2024 et glissant de 14 milliards à 13 milliards de dollars en termes d'exportation. Les défis sectoriels, conjugués à la persistance des obstacles non tarifaires, au déficit d'infrastructures et au blocage réglementaire, ont compromis la pleine réalisation du potentiel commercial intra-régional du COMESA. Et cette performance mitigée illustre le double défi auquel nous sommes confrontés. Il faudrait alors stimuler les flux commerciaux intra-régionaux tout en élargissant notre accès aux marchés mondiaux. Distingués invités, mesdames et messieurs, en réfléchissant à la déclaration de COMESA en 2024 et aux résolutions du sommet des chefs d'État du COMESA à Bujumbura, au Burundi, je souhaite attirer un certain nombre d'attentions sur certains points essentiels. Premièrement, il est impératif d'approfondir le développement du secteur privé par le biais d'une collaboration renforcée entre le secrétariat du COMESA et le Conseil d'affaires CBC. L'objectif est en effet de mettre en œuvre une stratégie régionale du secteur privé qui soit à la fois solide et exhaustive. Le secteur privé n'est pas seulement un moteur, mais aussi un acteur essentiel dans la mise en œuvre de nos programmes et de nos agendas. Nous devons redoubler d'efforts pour faciliter le commerce en mettant en œuvre et en accélérant les protocoles de libre circulation du COMESA, en assouplissant les restrictions de visa et en adoptant des outils numériques tels que les visas électroniques et un visa unique pour le COMESA. Plusieurs États membres ont déjà adopté des systèmes de visa électroniques et nous progressons résolument vers notre vision d'un visa unique pour faciliter que ce soit le tourisme, les voyages d'affaires à travers notre région. Et je suis particulièrement heureux de constater que le secrétariat du COMESA et le Conseil d'affaires travaillent en étroite collaboration à l'élaboration d'un cadre de visa d'affaires du COMESA. Notre engagement s'étend aussi à la promotion d'une agriculture résiliente qui nécessite des investissements dans la recherche, un accès financier abordable pour les petites et moyennes entreprises, mais aussi, sans oublier des normes de qualité améliorées et une logistique optimisée pour nos chaînes de valeur. Nous nous engageons aussi à promouvoir le tourisme, l'exploitation minière, à travers un renforcement conjoint des capacités, la valorisation des ressources et l'amélioration des infrastructures, l'harmonisation des réglementations et des pratiques environnementales responsables. Ces priorités demeurent fondamentales actuellement et il faudrait renforcer la nécessité de la mise en œuvre de ces politiques et d'un partenariat public-privé solide. Mesdames et messieurs, le thème de cette année, optimiser la numérisation pour renforcer les chaînes de valeur régionales en vue d'une croissance durable et inclusive, ne saurait être opportun. La convergence des technologies numériques avec nos écosystèmes agricoles, manufacturiers et commerciaux recèle un potentiel de transformation considérable. Je tiens alors aussi à saluer le leadership de la République du Kenya dans l'exploitation et l'innovation numérique pour la transformation de l'agriculture et du commerce. Leurs avancées en matière d'agriculture de précision, de marché numérique et de systèmes de traçabilité basés sur les blockchains constituent un exemple éloquent et des pratiques pour l'ensemble de notre communauté. Et je tiens aussi à le préciser lors du forum hier, la bonne initiative du gouvernement du Kenya pour pouvoir renforcer la collaboration en termes de renforcement des capacités. Et je vous en remercie énormément. Distingués invités, ce forum se présente comme une plateforme puissante pour le développement et le partenariat et surtout le partage des meilleures pratiques et la promotion des solutions innovantes. Au nom du Conseil des ministres et au nom de mon propre pays, le Burundi, je tiens à réaffirmer notre engagement indéfectible envers la vision d'une région transformée par le numérique et économiquement intégrée et prospère. J'exhorte alors tous les États membres et les institutions, le secteur privé, les partenaires au développement et les autres parties prenantes ici rassemblées à saisir l'opportunité que ce forum nous offre. Mesdames et messieurs, pour conclure, unissons nos efforts pour que ces résolutions issues de ce forum d'affaires se traduisent en actions concrètes, capables de propulser notre transformation régionale. Je vous souhaite alors de bonnes délibérations productives et des opportunités de réseautage fructueuses. Pour ça, je vous remercie. Que Dieu vous bénisse.
Let's put another round of applause for Dr. Hassan Kiber, His Excellency, the Minister, or the Chairperson for COMESA, Council of Ministers from Burundi. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm standing here, and because I can have 360 degrees of everything, I can confirm that you're looking very good. I was watching you on TV, and I can tell you that you're looking very, very good. The only thing you need to do is to sit up, put your chest forward, right, and put your chin up so that you come out strongly on TV, but I can confirm that you look very, very good. I also informed you that we are live on Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, and so this meeting is being beamed across the world. So let's put our best foot forward. We're coming to the keynote address, which is going to be delivered by the guest of honor, His Excellency Professor Kithure Kindiki, the Deputy President of the Government of the Republic of Kenya. And I want to invite back on stage the Minister for Investment, Trade and Industry, Honorable Lee Kinyanjui, to conduct the honors of inviting our chief guests. Let's put our hands together for Waziri.
So thank you. I think my responsibility is to remind you to stand up as we welcome our Deputy President, Your Excellency, Professor Kithure Kindiki. A warm applause. Thank you and welcome, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much. Please be seated, and good morning. Excellencies, I am pleased to join you here today at the 18th COMESA Business Forum. Welcome to Nairobi and welcome to Kenya. This gathering is a critical confluence of minds and purpose, bringing together the architects of our continent's future. The forum provides a pivotal platform for us to confront trade issues affecting our region today and tomorrow. It brings together high-level private sector, actors, associations, service providers, partners, and the public sector to discuss and adopt solutions that will propel and transform the COMESA region into a competitive economy. Today's forum, Excellencies, was preceded by the COMESA EU Horticulture Connect platform, which facilitated business-to-business meetings, farm visits, and dialogues to strengthen market linkages and foster inclusive economic growth. I thank those of you who participated in the various dialogue activities and trust that the engagements have yielded sustainable partnerships and a greater understanding of the market requirements, certification processes, and quality standards for our local, small and medium enterprises, SMEs, to remain competitive in international trade. Kenya holds a significant position in the global horticultural export trade. While significant challenges like competition from other export markets, water scarcity, high cost of air freight, disruption of supply chains resulting from perilous ocean security threats around the Red Sea, the government of Kenya is supporting this sector through value addition, development of infrastructure, and shifting to sea freight to reduce the carbon footprint. Distinguished Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, value addition, for instance, offers the best opportunity for higher returns, incentivizes industrialization, enhances productivity, deepens technological advancement, increases high-quality jobs, bolsters wealth creation, and promotes competitiveness. We must accelerate the development of horticulture and other regional value chains critical to our future. The public and private sectors must work hand in hand to create an enabling environment for businesses to thrive, expand, and to innovate. I therefore commend the idea of the Connect platform and propose that this approach be adopted in all other value chains. Gathered here today is a rich resource of best practices from peers in the region. As the heads of strategy, I challenge you to lead innovation of tailored tech-driven solutions, and that will benefit those at the bottom of the socioeconomic pyramid in building the necessary backward and forward linkages that will facilitate transformation. You are the engine of Africa's economic transformation. You are the ones who will bridge the gaps, create the jobs, and build the future of Africa. The outcomes of this forum will be presented to the 24th COMESA Heads of State and Government Summit. Ensure that your recommendations are bold, ambitious, and practical, providing a clear roadmap for our leaders to endorse. Excellencies, tomorrow, Kenya is assuming the chairmanship of our organization, COMESA. This is not a light responsibility. Kenya will leverage this role to champion a new era of regional integration that uses digitalization to deepen value chains for sustainable and inclusive growth to actualize the theme of this forum. This theme resonates powerfully with Kenya's aspiration for radical national transformation, primarily focused on boosting intra-regional trade and economic integration within COMESA member states. The theme is a direct response to the persistent challenge of low intra-Africa trade, which is at a disappointing 17%. The summit also aligns with Kenya's own digital transformation agenda, leveraging the country's leadership in mobile money technology, digital governance, and fintech innovation. By leveraging digitalization, the summit is expected to address the issue of integrating agri-tech and digitalization into the agricultural sector. Digitalization is also a key enabler to innovation and competitiveness. Digital transformation creates a more dynamic business environment, including promoting initiatives such as the Electronic Certificate of Origin, ECO, and smart border solutions to facilitate the flow of goods and services. Digitalization catalyzes reduction of non-tariff barriers to trade by introducing digital solutions to trade facilitation and modernizing customs and border procedures for seamless trade within COMESA member states. The goal, distinguished delegates, excellencies, is to move beyond the export of raw materials and create more sophisticated, higher value products that can be traded within the region and globally. This approach also seeks to create more opportunities for SMEs, businesses, especially those led by women and youth within the agricultural value chains. I am confident that by working together, we shall achieve these aspirations as a bloc and build a more integrated, resilient, and prosperous COMESA for our people. I look forward to today's deliberations and welcome what will inevitably be a more successful summit. I also look forward to fostering the implementation of the resolutions of this forum. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, excellencies, all what I have said can be summarized into three things, which three things will place Africa on the front and center of influence in the 21st century. The first is people. Trade, development, growth, progress, and wealth is about people. And going forward, the people of Africa, the people of COMESA, must include those among us who have always remained in the periphery. The youth, women must be integrated in business and wealth creation, trade, development, and the innovations that will create wealth that will define the place of Africa in the 21st century. We must think people, and we must remain people-centric going forward, more than we've done before. The second issue is technology. Technology, especially digital technology, will define the world in the 21st century and will determine who calls the shots. And it is not true that those who have called the shots in the past will continue calling the shots in the future. Those who will use technology well to find solutions for wealth creation, for progress and development. And I believe Africa is not sitting badly in terms of harnessing technology to define our future. We may not be generating the technology ourselves. In fact, I dare say we don't have to. We only need to harness and make use of it and create wealth for our people in the shortest time possible. Excellencies other than the people and technology, the last driver that will turbocharge the wealth creation for Africa and for our region into the 21st century is going to be partnerships. And many speakers have eloquently spoken about the need for partnerships. The president of the bank, our bank, has already told us how partnerships have driven progress and growth for our institution and for our region within the member states. But we must look at bridging the gap between the public sector and the private sector so that we can be able to mobilize adequate resources to take Africa and COMESA forward. And I am not talking about financial resources alone. Financial resources are one, perhaps the most critical component. But then we also need intellectual resources because we need the best ideas that will define our progress going into the future. It is my pleasure to declare the 18th COMESA Business Forum officially open. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Let us all be upstanding. Your Excellency, please remain on the podium as we give His Excellency another round of applause. And my colleague is going to invite the people who are going to come upstage for that official photo op, and then we'll proceed from there. So I kindly request the following to come up on stage. This is Ms. Regina Ombam, the Principal Secretary in the State Department for Trade. Please, a round of applause for the PS. Mr. Hitesh Medirata, Vice Chairperson, Kenya Association of Manufacturers. Another round of applause. Please don't get tired. We haven't started even yet clapping here, so get ready for more. James Chimwanza, President, COMESA Business Council. Thank you. Mr. Admasu Tedese, President, Trade Development Bank. Mr. His Excellency Chileshe Mpundu Kapwepwe, Secretary General for COMESA. Honorable Lee Kenyanjui, Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry, Kenya. Please keep clapping. His Excellency Dr. Hassan Kibeya, Chairperson, COMESA Council of Ministers for Burundi. This is the official photo, and please let the cameras click.
Thank you. And as that photo is being taken, I would like to request the persons who are in the following groups to kindly proceed to the photo platform on the right side of the building for you. And I'd like to request the ambassadors in the room, ministers, COMESA Business Council board members, heads of COMESA institutions, EU and other cooperating partners, as well as trade development, sorry, excuse me, that is something else. Ambassadors, ministers, COMESA Business Council board members, heads of COMESA institutions, EU and other cooperating partners. If you are in the room, kindly proceed to that platform there. Their Excellencies will join us for another photo once they are done here.
Yes,
if you are in that list, kindly proceed to the right side of the room.
Thank you. Let's please put on our best smile, the cameras. Yes, then after these, the guest of honor, accompanied by the other dignitaries, he will proceed to open the exhibition, which is taking place outside here. And after the photos, all of us, we're going to the Aberdares Hall, which is downstairs, for that refreshing cup of coffee, cappuccino, or a cup of Kenyan tea. So please, you may take leave.
For now, I would like to request, if you're not in the groups that are taking the photos, kindly have your seats and let us remain seated until we are released once the Excellencies exit the room.
Thank you, Your Excellencies. You may leave to officially open the exhibition hall, which is taking place outside here. Once the VIP photo session is over, all of us are going to proceed for tea break, which is taking place downstairs in a hall called Aberdares. And then thereafter, we should be coming back here at 11:30 for our first session of
Thank you, Your Excellencies. They are now exiting the building. We would like to repeat that tea will be served at the Abadea's room that will be downstairs. You are released to go